Your job is to put things in spec. My job is to
take them out
of spec. I came out to the car this morning and tried the door handle, and it worked. So I don't know what's going to go on here. I'm going to watch it over the next, few hours, days, whatever. I do have an appointment for Monday, just in case. It's something with the software, though. Clearly, the car sat overnight. It must have reset itself. I thought I was going to do that with, by hitting the two wheels on the last video at the supercharger, but I don't really know. Let's follow this along, and welcome to another episode of Out of Spec Dave. So here I am. It's the morning. I'm back at work and back in the X. Actually, I'm a creature of habit. I got my same parking spot every day. And this morning, when I go to unlock the car, I'm using my key fob here with my coffee. Double click, the car unlocks, and check this out. Basically, hold on, let me see if I can show you this like this. This is a little tricky, but I open the door, and look, the door freaking opens. I mean, it's as if the car knows that I made a video and called it out. Did Tesla send an over-the-air update last night after the Tesla Semi event? Look, I'm happy it's working, but in life, I don't like these intermittent problems. What I like is real problems that are clearly definable, that you can solve right away. Now, what I'm probably dealing with here, I'm gonna have to see how this thing handles it over time. Like I said earlier, I have a Tesla appointment for Monday morning. It's now Friday. This was the earliest. I mean, look, I can live with it over the weekend. It's not a problem, but I don't like it when there's an intermittent problem. I want it to be clearly definable, and this isn't. So as much as I'm happy that this is working, I'm kind of bummed out at the same time that it's working, because at least, I mean, when you know what happens, right, in life, you have a problem with the car. It happens. You bring it into the service center and it doesn't happen. And then as soon as you take the car away because they can't fix something that's not broken, what happens? It starts up again. I hate that vicious cycle. So look, maybe this thing's going to go away. Some of you may have watched my Hyundai Kona, the Ioniq 5 video, where I came out to it one day and the 12-volt battery was just dead. Well, a lot of people had theories about it was the OBD2 port. I had an iPad mini connected to it, a lot of stuff connected to it. But let's be honest, that shouldn't have happened. And you know what happened? As soon as I made the video, it never happened again. So maybe the trick is, everyone, just make a YouTube video about whatever problem it is you have with your car, and it fixes it. I think that's the solution. All right, so here we go. It's time. Tesla has once again shown up to fix my door handle. And the only issue is that my door handle works, but it's not working exactly perhaps the way that this tech here, what's your name again? Chris, yeah, Chris, great guy. It's not working exactly the way he wants it to, so he's gonna actually replace it. And he was just showing me a little bit about how the door handle actually works. Check this out. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
Thanks for coming out. Appreciate it.
No problem, anytime. So basically the way the door handle works, that this is up against the door. So when the car sees you, or like it checks out your cell phone, it activates the door handle, goes like this out all the way, and then retracts a little bit in. The problem is, over time...
Oh, can I see that? Yeah, from that side.
Yeah. So it's literally from here, it goes out the door, and then it goes there, and you press the handle, and it pulls out, it sends another signal from here to let the latch open.
I see.
So normally what happens is that this little paw right here, over time, it just breaks.
Yeah.
And then, so that's what keeps the door from, like, the motor will keep going, but this one just won't spin out, so it just keep going tick, 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 tick.
Interesting, okay.
And that happens with the new ones as well, so that's why it's better to replace them.
Yeah. Well, you know what's interesting, Chris, was I went to, I did a reset,
Yep.
with the two buttons. thinking it was a software issue.
Yeah.
And then it still did it. And then when I got home and the next morning it worked fine, I was like, wait a minute, maybe it really was a software issue
Right.
because it's a mechanically,
Yep.
it's working now,
Yep.
right? So like, you know, when I shut the door here, if I,
You're gonna,
oh, sorry about that.
no, you're fine. I just did a latch. Just gonna unlock it.
All right, don't worry about it.
There you go.
Okay, so anyway, before when I went to open it, it didn't open. Now, if I open it, it does work. So anyway, that was kind of a weird thing.
Yeah, they just, sometimes these handles are finicky, sometimes they work fine, sometimes they don't work fine. Problem is that sometimes if the handle is not perfectly aligned, that will also create resistance on the handle itself,
Right.
causing the motor to bind up and break.
Got it.
So
right.
sometimes, you know, it just happens. So we're just gonna replace the whole handle.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much for coming out. And by the way, your buddy's got that P100D, you know, X. You got the lowly 90. I don't know what's the deal with that. The 90D. You got to be getting the plaid soon, right?
I know, yes.
Yeah, come on. You know, like
great.
you got to step it up. I love how you rig these things out. Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, it's nothing. It's all back parts and everything.
So Chris, be honest. Who's the fastest tech at Tesla for changing out these door handles? You're the man, right? You beat Nate, don't you?
Depends on a good day, probably.
On a good day, you think you could beat Nate?
On a good day, maybe. But the fastest I know is probably our other coworker, Ed.
Ed? All right.
pretty
Well, listen,
fast.
that's good. I just want to make sure it works. I don't care how fast you go.
I'm right there with you. Same
Yeah.
here. As long as it works, everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy as long as it works, for sure.
sir.
There you go. What do you use the tape for? I'm just curious.
So I don't mark up the door itself, door panel, stuff like that.
Okay.
I don't want to ding the pane or just scratch your tints or anything like that as well.
Okay.
And I use the tape as a second pair of hands when I align the door handle, make sure it's flush for stuff like that. So I can do that
Okay.
while I work in the back to like adjust it and stuff like that.
Very smart. Yeah, it must be hard sometimes when you're all alone trying to figure out just how to hold something.
Yeah,
you know?
you always
like you always want a buddy to say, "Hey, hold this for a second, or get me this tool, or whatever." But I guess listen, that goes. You know, that's what happens.
That goes with the territory.
Yeah, exactly. Is this the old door piece here?
That's the old, it's old parts. Everything else is switched. I switched everything over.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's the old handle.
Interesting. Was there anything visibly broken in this, or not really?
See anything visible, but it could also probably be like the mechanism or the motor attached to that could be starting to have some stress fractures on like the hinge part.
Right.
Maybe that's possible because I've seen that too.
Right. Not a light piece. It's pretty heavy.
Yeah, they're pretty heavy.
Yeah. Well, not only is he technically good, but he's also clean. This is the man right here.
Yeah, I want to make it seem that I wasn't even here at all. That's the whole point.
Well, your job is to put things in spec. My job is to
Take them out of
take them out of spec. Chris, before Tesla, you used to work on trucks. Is that right?
Yeah, I worked on 18-wheelers. And before 18-wheelers, I worked at BMW of Darien.
Oh yeah,
A
sure.
little bit.
Uh-huh.
And then my whole career has been with European cars. People ask me why. I don't know, they're just different. They're hard to work on. Not a lot of people like working on those type of cars.
Yeah.
They're difficult, everything's backward, but also, I don't know, it tests you as a technician and how much of a challenge you like to go for it and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, that's good.
The
That's
harder,
good.
the better.
I remember years ago, BMW Darien, somebody stole like 16 cars one night. They got to the key. Were you there? Were you there then?
Yeah.
That must have been a bad meeting, a bad morning meeting the next day.
That wasn't a fun meeting.
No, my goodness. So Chris, from a software standpoint, is there anything that you need to do? I see you got a laptop in your hands there.
Yeah, so after we adjusted the door handles, that's perfectly like around the door panel so it's not hitting, we always have to calibrate the door handle. So now the car knows that it has a new door handle, so everything can communicate with each other.
I see. And for that you need Wi-Fi, is that right?
Wi-Fi, you need to hardwire the laptop to the
Got it.
car.
Interesting.
Everything. Yep.
Very cool. I did not know that. A question about the alignment of this plastic over here, and he was just graciously he was just waiting on something, and he was graciously showing me what's under here. So what is this metal cylinder?
So that's just, like a air storage tank for your air suspension.
Okay.
And you got your coolant bottle here, you got your compressor, AC compressor. This is your lithium battery for the 12-volt system. Obviously the brake fluid for that. And a bunch of other various control modules, airlines, harnesses.
Wow.
Yeah. If you take this bucket out, it's just a radiator there, and that's it.
Huh.
Nothing else.
An amazing design. Chris, the job is done. I want to thank you so much for somehow finding me in this myriad of cars. I mean, wow. I'm more impressed with that than actually fixing my door, which I assume you've done. How did it go?
All set. I just had to calibrate the door handle to the door. Once I did that, I tested it a few times, and you're good to go.
All right, well, listen, I'm going to check it. Well, hold on, before you go, let's make sure. So, all right, the door handle's out. I'm going to lock it. Wait, I have to press it once to lock. Okay, that's good. Now, it opened because of my phone there. That's beautiful. That's great. Chris, you're the man.
Anytime.
I really
Take
appreciate
care.
you coming out
You're
here.
welcome.
Please say hi to my other buddies that hopefully I like you guys, but like I said in the last video, I don't want to see you again.
I don't blame you.